Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the First Minister how the Scottish Government will be building on the legacy from the Glasgow Climate Pact by attending COP26 in Egypt.
First Minister.
Scotland is determined to continue to play our part in responding to the global climate emergency. If the world is to deliver on the Glasgow Climate Pact, all nations need to continue to increase their ambition and take credible action to reach net zero emissions. Over the next few days, I will attend COP27 to do what I can to further collaboration between Scotland and other countries to build upon the agreements that were made in Glasgow and to continue Scotland's leadership, not least on the issue of loss and damage. Although we are not yet a member state of the UN or party to the Paris Agreement, Scotland will do its part by sharing our own experiences of delivering net zero targets at home as part of our just transition, and also by helping to amplify the voices of those most impacted by climate change, but also very often excluded from the debate. That, of course, includes countries from the Global South, women and young people.
Mark Ruskell.
Can I thank the First Minister for that response? And I'm also very pleased that she didn't have to be shamed into attending COP27, unlike the Prime Minister. But COP26 in Glasgow showed us that when small nations work together, they can lead the world on climate justice. And alongside Scotland's leadership on loss and damage funding that the First Minister mentioned, Denmark helped launch the Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance and was joined by a flotilla of countries planning for a fair and fast phase-out of fossil fuels. Now the Scottish Government has a clearer position on ending new coal extraction. Is it ready to join that alliance and show the global leadership that is desperately needed on a just oil and gas transition?
First Minister.
Good engagement at COP26 in Glasgow last year with those involved in the Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance, including, of course, its founder country, Denmark. And we'll continue to do that. We set out last year the programme of work that we are undertaking, which will influence and ultimately decide our involvement in the Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance. So we are undertaking in-depth analysis work to better understand our energy requirements as we transition to net zero, ensuring an approach that supports and protects our energy security and our workforce while meeting our climate obligations. We'll publish an energy strategy and our first Just Transition plan, providing a roadmap for the energy sector's role in achieving our emissions reduction targets and securing a net zero energy system for Scotland. So, taking all of that into account, we will continue to engage constructively with the Beyond Oil and Gas Alliance as part of that wider programme of analysis and engagement with a range of organisations and stakeholders.
Fiona Hislop.
With the publication of 3 new UN reports at the weekend stating that there is no clear pathway to the 1.5 degree limit in place, with the devastation of floods caused by climate change in Pakistan, can the First Minister set out what more can and should be done at COP27, particularly around loss and damage funding? And does she agree with me that the people and countries in the Global South must be given due attention and action from the Global North? And in welcoming the planned attendance now by the UK's Prime Minister, does she urge all Global North leaders to act on the issues already being faced by the Global South?
First Minister.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. Countries in the Global North owe a moral obligation to those in the Global South, and that absolutely includes on the issue of loss and damage. Good progress was made in Glasgow last year to put the loss and damage issue firmly on the agenda. I think we all wish we could have gone further, but it's vital that this year's COP delivers on implementation of the Glasgow Pact, and that includes delivering the finance needed, particularly for Global South nations, to adapt to the impacts of climate change. That, though, is not enough. We need to see further action on loss and damage. I think we can be very proud of the commitment and the leadership that Scotland showed on this last year. That was followed by Denmark, Wallonia and the Children's Investment Fund Foundation. But this year we hope that other governments follow suit and help us mobilise funding to address the losses and damages that people and communities in the Global South are suffering right now, caused by climate change, largely caused by the Global North. So that's one of the big tests, in my view, of COP27, and I hope it meets it in full.